Trust no one. Your life has all been a lie. The Americans, Season 5, Episode 11. It's just got real.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I must give it to young and old Camel Toe for their very diverse selection of intro music. My name is TK Trinidad. Welcome, guys. Thank you for rocking with us, or the folks that are left that like our comedy and the show, I guess. Thank you for rocking with us for 11 episodes. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad and my handsome co-host.
Thank you, the lovely TK, my boy Emmanuel. My name is Gragg, aka Old Camel Toe, aka Big Silverback. You can find me on Twitter at Jamaica House Doc and IG at Algie_Jamaica House Film.
Only 2 AKAs tonight?
Only 2.
Okay.
And I'm Emmanuel Wright, aka Young Camel Toe on Instagram, aka Davis Spitz on Twitter. We Kremlin up in here. That's
Kremlined up. We both Kremlined up. We Kremlined up like Trump.
Yo.
Okay, so what do you guys think of today's episode?
They finally said it. Elizabeth said it for them. We need to get out the game.
She said we need to go home.
We need to go home.
She's talking about going back.
Yeah.
But get out the game, basically.
Yeah, still in it. If you go back to Russia.
Yeah, well, that would be a better choice for them, because if they were to do so, essentially, like the episode was kind of slow, but it's almost kind of telling, like, you know, because obviously Philip has been, you know, talking about getting out of the game for a long time, and like he can, his kids, Elizabeth, all that good stuff. But Anna, who we see throughout the whole episode, and, you know, spoiler alert, she dies. That's essentially, if they do decide to run, they'll eventually get tracked down. So that's kind of essentially where they can't. The thought of it, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we can run, but where will you go?
Interesting foreshadowing. Good point.
I think Elizabeth really said that because she saw this is the end of Philip. Because Philip, if she didn't pull that trigger, I don't think Philip would have.
Yeah, Philip's gone. Philip's pretty much
so done. I think she noticed, like, oh, okay, Philip's out the game. We need to.
Yeah, I kind of think, like, well, he wasn't built for it. He wasn't built for it. But let's get into that whole thing. Let's talk about. Well, we haven't seen Paige. I'm really kind of happy about that.
Great.
That whining was
fantastic.
Paige pops up again, and this confirmed what I was thinking last week. Or at least Philip thought the same thing, in that he's bouncing it off Elizabeth. Do you think Paige wanted us to, you know, to see what was written in the diary? And she's like, yeah, she wanted to show us. But he's like, no. Do you think she wanted us to read it while she was there for greater impact?
Right.
So I think it's finally sinking through his head. Like, wait a minute, this is her way of, you know, passive aggressively saying, like, yo, I'm screwed up. I need help. I can't do this.
Right. But she should have known that, and they should know that too.
Yeah, should have thought about it before she started snooping and stuff, but that's Paige.
Meanwhile, Henry's over here just dropping knowledge without even knowing the situation. He was just giving them info on Stan, the FBI.
Yeah, that was
all smooth. Like, yeah, I'm about to write a paper real quick. I'll give you all the details later.
Running his fat mouth about the little privacy secret room.
Right.
But so Henry wants to go to St. Edward's. Paige wasn't on board. I believe Paige wasn't on board, but Philip was on board. Now they're both on. Like, if he really wants to go and he gets accepted, then he can go. In the meantime, he has this assignment. It's almost like, you know, take your parent to school, or kind of go a day with your parent. But, you know, obviously he thinks that Elizabeth and Philip are just running a travel agency, which is boring. But Stan, who's with the CIA, is very fun.
Yeah,
so he goes in with Stan.
And yeah, how telling is that, you know, Stan with the FBI, that they, like, he actually looks at him more kind of as a surrogate father, because Stan spends more time with him.
Well, you can definitely see the compare and contrast as far as Philip and Henry in their relationship, where it's just like, oh, okay. And then funny, because you can tell how we're all products of our experiences, because even Philip's relationship with Twan is similar. And now you have Stan and Henry, who are like chopping it up. He's told him about, you know, some girl that he's trying to bang. Like, he's taking him all over the place, and he tells him he doesn't trust him. But I'm sure Stan has told Henry way more than he's told Matthew, who's his own son.
You were talking about, like, comparing the two relationships, and that was classic when Philip goes to, you know, talk to talk to Henry, and he's like, okay, you can go. And you could tell he's hurt. He doesn't want to let go of his son. And his son's like, yeah, thanks, Dad. Bam, close the door on him.
Instantly.
Yeah, instantly. And then cut to this other, even more awkward, relationship with his fake son.
Yeah.
I think it's all finally hitting him. I think it's all hitting him at the same time.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he's just as screwed up, and he didn't deal with that. Well, he couldn't have dealt with his issues with his dad because he didn't know until recently. So I think all that's kind of coming into play, and then what he does for a living essentially, and the whole thing with S, and it's just kind of like he's trying to find himself. So how can he really connect with somebody else who doesn't even know like his real life
and make up for the loss of the son that he never sees? All that.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mr. Young Camel Toe?
I think Philip needs to get out immediately. He should just
leave them.
Just leave the fam. I don't know. Philip just needs to get out. He can't handle it. It's not his world. It's not his situation.
So you're encouraging Elizabeth to be a single mother?
No, she has all of Russia behind her. That would never happen. And Henry's already going off. He's fine. Paige, she's probably gonna die pretty soon anyways. Twan and Elizabeth, like they could be in cahoots because Twan's down for the cause.
Right.
Twan should replace.
So you think Philip should just leave, and Elizabeth just covers for him so he can go off and get himself together and
a retreat,
kill Paige.
And let me chime in just on the whole cost of just being an undercover agent. And we see that we compare and contrast that with Stan later on. Like, he can't even tell members of his own family what he does.
Trust.
And that's the thing, trust, keeping secrets. And we were talking about, it's come up a couple times, how Philip's not built for this. I would even say that Philip may have been built for this, but I think it just takes a toll on you. Years after years after years. And we're talking like, there's no retirement plan. What are they going to do? Let him go to Russia? Go back and retire? I don't think so. They're going to keep working him and keep working him, until they can't string anything else out of him. It's tragic.
It's definitely like it wears on your psyche because, now I think, too, what's getting to him is like he doesn't even know the people, like, he's questioning whether what they're doing is good. Yeah. Like the lady that they ended up killing, Anna, who they ended up killing, it wasn't like she ran away and now she's a
Natalie?
Anna. Natalie is her American name.
Oh, okay.
So they ended up killing Anna, but it's not like she was giving information to the Americans. She's been in the country for like 25 years and she just wanted to live a normal life.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, you look at that, it's like, how can you justify like her death? And
it brings up another good point. Should we be accountable for the things we had to do 30 years ago, perhaps under duress?
Right.
Because I'm like, okay, we're all accountable. I may not be that person now. I may not be a murderer now.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I got to stand in judgment for what I've done. But when she broke down the story about how like they killed her mom in front of her, killed her dad in front of her, made her bury them, and they basically used like psychological torture, get her drunk, to do all these things. They basically forced her and abused her and brainwashed her into doing those things. Does she have to take responsibility? Yes, but seeing it in context, it just presents it in a whole different light.
Yeah, either or. So if you were put in that situation where, okay, they killed your parents, they made you bury your parents, and it's like, okay, well, you can either, because after they got her drunk, she's probably 5 or 6 deaths in. Yeah. She's just like, it's almost, I guess, like a prostitute or something.
And didn't it sound like they took turns raping her and like she got all these VDs?
Yeah, so Claudia kind of made it seem like she was just, a sex addict and she was giving these people VDs, where in essence she was getting raped, because I believe she was like 16 at the time.
They turned her out when she was a teenager.
So you have all that, so you can either try to survive or you're like, no, I'm not doing it, and just take the bullet. Like, you have those two options where...
Or you could try and start a revolt.
Yeah, but it takes resources to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, young Camel Toe can probably do that, but everybody can't do that.
I don't know. She could have tried.
I mean, I don't know.
Go out like a G?
I don't know. Young Camel Toe can do a revolt.
I don't know. If you put me in, like, back in the day, Russia, and you killed my whole family, I didn't really have anything to look up to, I'd probably just go out with a bang. I'm not trying to say I'd win, but I think I'd try.
Like, I see you doing it on your own. Like, oh, yeah, like, I'm
present day times? No. I could.
You wouldn't do a revolt?
Not now.
No.
So we got the internet and stuff like that.
So what, you can just set up hashtags, or?
I don't know. First of all, that wouldn't happen because we're in California, and California is its own country.
Hey, I don't know, man. Some people say our current president behaves like a dictator.
But what I'm trying to say is, if our current president does behave like a dictator, it's not going to affect California.
Okay.
I feel.
Okay.
because California's just like distant from the rest of America.
Right. Yeah, California's been talking about like breaking off, like doing their own thing.
They've been talking about that for years.
They're not gonna do it. It's just all wolf tickets.
Yeah, but yeah, like that age-old question: what will you do to survive?
Right.
Or is it worth surviving that kind of life? Interesting question.
Yeah, and you can take that to even like, for example, slavery. Like there were plenty of opportunities, not plenty, but there were opportunities where it's like you can either jump off this boat and die, or play everything out through, and pick the car and like do all that stuff. And there were plenty of opportunities where you could have killed yourself or ended the misery, but they chose not to. And some of us are here today because of that. So it's just kind of like you choose to do that, but on the flip side, it's a very difficult question. Like you would hope that eventually you would be able to like either kill whoever is the aggressor, but a lot of times it doesn't happen that way. So Elizabeth has let's go to Stan, Dennis, and Sophia. What do you think of that situation and Sophia's hockey player boyfriend? And
Dennis still wants those.
I think Dennis still. I think Stan too a little bit, but he kind of backs away because of his whole situation with Nina. I think he's kind of hesitant because
everything went so left before.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be put in that position because he's essentially sent her to die because like they pressured him to get some information. He didn't want to get the information. He's like, okay, well now she's gone.
And poor Sophia, so innocent, just running her mouth, talking about her boyfriend. And I'm waiting to find out, like, they're saying, she's been getting some information. I'm waiting to find out the big reveal on who that is and how valuable the information is she's giving up.
Right.
I think Sophia's safe, though. I just feel there's a safe veil over Sophia.
What would be really great is if she was playing that role and setting them up.
That would be dope if she was that cunning.
Yeah. Like, I think in my mind, any situation like that's like usual suspect, like Kaiser Sose all the time.
Because girls know what they're doing. She's playing the wounded bird. Oh, my God, I'm so hurt.
Oh, my God, really?
Oh, my God.
So
I barely speak English.
You don't fall for stuff like that?
I try not to. I try not to.
So what, do you just drive past, like, a woman with a flat tire?
Immediately. Immediately, I'm heartless.
Wait, are you? You're trying to tell me?
It's a setup.
You're trying to tell me you have time and you know you're gonna get to your.
Here's what happens. We all used to be good guys, but at one time we tried to play Captain Save 'em, and we got stuck in the back.
Yep, so we were just like, nope.
You learn and you get hard. TK.
So what's wrong with helping somebody with the flat tire?
It's a setup.
A setup for what?
It's always a setup.
Well, young Camel Toe's a little bit more ruthless. I've kind of softened the older I've gotten.
Oh yeah, like SpaghettiOs and Nintendo games for a date.
Hey, whatever works.
Hey, you could either be an Elizabeth or you could be a Philip. I'm an Elizabeth.
Bam.
You think you're Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay.
I know. I don't think I know.
Bam.
Yeah, we'll just move on. Let's see. So Philip so what do you think of the whole Twan situation? So we have one episode left. So where do you think they're just, and there's one season left. And possibly, if these guys would actually respond to their email, we might be doing a red carpet for the Americans.
We responded.
Okay, let me break it down for you guys, because you guys really just don't understand what I go through.
I said thanks.
I sent an email I sent an email with all the relevant information, pretty much saying, hey, can you guys do this?
I said yes.
No,
thanks.
You said thanks, and then you said thanks. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Is this a yes? Or is this I can do that? I'm busy. No, thanks. Like, this is what hey, we covered the Americans. This would be a good jump off to the next season. No, thanks.
Well, TK, we didn't use the one that you're really good at. Yours like, let me get back to you later. That's what TK usually says, which I guess is like the more professional thing.
That's not that's the reason I say that is because I work 4 jobs.
Wait, right. I said thanks not to that one. I said thanks to the first email that I got. That was just like, oh, there's a red carpet. Here's the info. I think.
Right.
Who sent that?
I forwarded that to you guys because guys are doing the Americans. So you're supposed to read the email. There's a red carpet. It's on this day. It's this time. Yeah, I can do it, or I'll be down. Whatever. Thanks.
What we
My
should have done
bad,
is said
my
thanks.
bad.
We'll get back to you, like TK says. So I apologize, TK.
I'm just saying.
Thank you for schooling us up. We
Well,
wouldn't
it's
have
on-
any kind of etiquette
It's
without
on,
you.
it's on June the 1st, and I'm down.
Oh, thanks,
I'm
guys.
saying it on air live,
I'll have to check my schedule.
not Memorex live.
Oh gosh. So what do you think of? I think Elizabeth and Anna had like a really good exchange, meaning that like Anna, she was forced to do all this stuff. Elizabeth called her a monster, but Elizabeth is the one who's going to be killing her or killed her. Like, what do you think of that? And then after all that said and done, Elizabeth is like, I'm ready to go home.
Interesting dynamic, and I was actually surprised that that was what turned her, because Elizabeth, the hardcore one, she's willing to do the dirty deed that Philip isn't. I was actually surprised that flipped her, but I guess what it illustrates is that what Anna was confessing did weigh on her, obviously.
Right. Well, I think there's just a really good parallel, because Elizabeth started, I think she was like 16, or she was a teenager, and she essentially, I'm sure what they told her what was going to happen is not what happened. It's just like, somebody, you're going in for a job and like, it's going to be great, and you interview and then you get, it's like, oh, this is a little bit different. So, they told her she's getting married, which is a whole nother thing she had to deal with. Then she, she popped out 2 kids, and now she's in America, and she's killing people on top of that. Like, I'm sure that's not exactly what she envisioned being a spy would be. And I don't know if she envisioned doing it for so long. So I think when she's looking at Anna, she's seeing herself, because there's not too many options.
Yeah.
So,
And it was sad that she had to take out the husband too. That was like another
She took him out first.
Casualty.
why do you think she took out the husband? Because she killed Anna. If they killed Anna,
Well, you have to take out that.
Can't leave
Why?
no witnesses.
You can't leave witnesses on that.
no, but if they killed Anna and left without the husband seeing,
I think I understand what you're saying, and I think what the way the scene was written was that they were still going back and forth with her.
And he just came in.
Yeah, and he just came in, and she was like, let's do this now, unless Elizabeth was like, let's do this now before your husband comes, and she went to the whole
I missed
begging
that.
and pleading.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part. Okay, so they might have actually considered.
I think they might have actually, if she would have fessed up quicker, but she sat there, tried to say, no, that's not me, blah blah
Right.
blah.
I
like
see
to her
why
own
she
detriment.
fessed up. They were in the room going back. She knows that they were going back and forth on, is this really her or not?
Right.
But the minute they threatened her husband, I think that's when she fessed up.
That's when she started. That's her husband, her family. Because now, on top of that, I feel like almost if they kill the husband and the mother, the kids, depending on what the kids do for a living, it's almost one of those things where. And I'm not trying to get political, but we've gone overseas to the Middle East. We've bombed a lot of places, and now there's kids who now have a certain way, a certain feeling about America. So it's just kind of like if the kids start digging, and if they dig deep enough, they might actually find this woman's past, and not necessarily go after Philip and Elizabeth, but it might be a whole Russian connection and expose stuff. So I mean, that's a good element for next season. Because I feel like if you're gonna take out the husband and the wife, you have to take out the whole family.
And that's what I love about this show, because whenever you're making these decisions, black and white decisions, when there are really tons of gray area,
Right.
there's always going to be blowback, not just with the person you kill, but their family, and it's going to echo throughout their children. The loss just multiplies and goes on and on and on down the line. Now we're seeing generationally too.
Right. Well, it's no different than I believe it was 1 or 2 seasons ago, where Philip and Elizabeth's friends, the son ended up actually killing the family because he was infiltrated without the parents knowing. It's just kind of like,
I saw that, yeah. Yeah, it's like, how much can one human being take? I don't care how much you're able to compartmentalize and do this. I think what the show is saying, even if you're a ride or die like Elizabeth, I think ultimately it catches up with you. Like, where are you going to keep putting it?
yeah, it's just, there's probably some men that she enjoyed sleeping with, but there's probably a whole bunch that she didn't want to sleep with. So there's all that element. There's probably some people that she's questioned, like, oh, I don't know if I should have killed them, but I'm doing my job. Yeah. So there's all that. And
Stuff it in the back.
Yeah,
stuff it
and
in
then
the
she's
back.
dealing with her kids, who she actually loves, and you have one kid who's obviously, Paige is obviously, getting to that breaking point where, back in those times, we didn't have all the motivational gurus and everything all these self-help books and stuff like that we have now. So back in those times, she's kind of like playing on, I think one more thing can actually break her. So now you have to deal with that. And then you have Henry, who's just like,
I'm out of here.
And is hanging out with the CIA agent across the street who can literally, if Henry were to get a certain inkling of what they actually do, he can expose everything.
That's interesting.
But it could also work in their favor, which it actually is now, of where he's exposing the FBI.
Right. Well, yes, because he doesn't even know that he's doing it.
Right.
That was funny.
And that's a good position to be in.
It's a good position to be in, but if Paige gets on a soapbox thing and decides that she wants to let Henry know because he's part of the family, like, I mean, there's so many...
Here, all these nuances. Here's a prediction for next season.
Oh, okay. Are we going into predictions now?
Well, no, I'm just throwing this for Henry.
Are you taking over
I'm
the
sorry.
lead host? No,
I've
been encouraging you to do it, so.
Didn't mean to jump the gun, but we were talking about Henry.
You can sit in the seat next week. It's all you.
It's what you're trying to say
the throne is available.
It's all you.
Hey,
so what do you think about Twan?
No, but
What do you think
aside.
about Philip?
I kind of want to see you lead host.
All right.
Hey, what is it? The 40 rules of power: never outshine the master. So I'm not gonna outshine the master. I'm gonna play 48 rules of power. Yeah.
So what am I, the master?
I'm gonna play my position. Okay, you're the quarterback. You know.
Oh, that's the Charlotte.
I'm a soldier.
No.
Whatever you want to do, TK. But because I opened up that whole book on predictions, I was strictly talking about Henry. Off the top of my head, I said, this is what I predict. His loyalties are going to be put to the test between his dad and between Stan. I think that's what they're setting us up for.
Right.
Or something.
But to the point where, because he actually, I don't know, because he wants to go to that school, and maybe if he doesn't get into the school, that's where that plays a role.
Oh, he's gonna get in.
But I don't think we're gonna see him next week.
No, he's gonna get in.
I think we saw so much of him now that it leaves an opening for next season. So I don't think we're gonna see him next week. I think we're gonna see way more Paige doing stupid stuff, and there's gonna be a cliffhanger because that's what they always do. And I don't think we're gonna see Henry. We're gonna see Henry like next season or something. We're either gonna see him next season or they're gonna allude to the fact that he's in boarding school because he's tall. He's the same size or almost the same height as Stan now. Like it's one of those things in acting that the kid outgrows he outgrows the role. Not even in a psychological thing, but just physically. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to write him in or not, but, we'll have to see.
And can we talk about Oleg for a second, too?
Oh, yes.
Our boy Oleg, it's funny because he keeps seeing himself on each side of the equation for his job with the KGB. He's forced to put pressure on this new woman. I can't even pronounce her name. Fortima.
Yeah,
Formina.
I like her.
Yeah, she's cool, and he's
straight up,
and he's forced to press all these innocent people who he knows are just trying to get by, but at the same time he's doing it under duress. That's his job. But guess what? He's had the same thing happen to him. So obviously he feels conflicted. Oh, here's what I was going to say about Oleg. I think what they're going to uncover with that little scandal with Fomina and her boss is something that hits really close to home. Perhaps his dad. Because the first thing she said was, it's like all the ministers are in on it. This is how Russia operates.
Right.
And the jacked up part about it that the KGB doesn't even see is like if the government ran a strong economy and there were no bread shortages, they wouldn't have to be forced to like a black market economy, and buy trade and bribe people, for whatever they need to get, off the market, but but because the economy is so screwed up, that's what people are forced into. It sucks that they're being portrayed as unpatriotic by the government.
They're just trying to feed their people.
That's trying to feed their families.
That's it.
So that scandal's gonna hit home, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna play a role in the season finale as far as oh gosh. Do you think if he finds out the truth about his father, he's gonna be like, screw it, I'm going back to America?
That was a good one.
Because it seemed like he moved back for his family, specifically for his mother. But I'm sure she has some demons in her closet too that he actually uncovers everything about his family. That he's like, I'm done. Like I've given up my life to take care of you guys, and now you guys didn't tell me the truth.
Nah, I think he's down for like the family. Even once he finds that out,
He seemed really happy in America, though. Like, happy in doing his job, happy. Not like he is almost the best of both worlds.
But
for
it
him.
wasn't his home. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Like, he probably thought, everything. Okay, fine, everything will be cool in Russia. Be back with my family. But who would have thought he'd been like looking over his shoulder as much as he is now?
Yeah.
I mean, if you knew what you knew then.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
He's not happy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Even though it's his home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with his parents. I was your girl Renee, Stan's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show her this week, but Stan was having that interesting conversation with Henry.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing of when Henry's interviewing me about his job, and he's like, "How come I can't tell you certain things?" He's like, "It's about trust," and like it really pinned home again that whole thing about keeping secrets,
right?
And like the casualties it causes in your life. Because the first thing was he was like, I couldn't tell my wife certain things, I couldn't tell my kids certain things, and Henry was like, well, doesn't that suck? He was like, yeah. And in that moment, the reason I thought of Renee is because I saw Stan talking, basically flashing back in his mind. This is what I intuited.
Telling Renee that.
Yeah. Perhaps opening up to Renee because holding secrets is what ruined his first marriage.
But
so,
he can't do it.
He can't do it, but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm thinking playing out. Okay, I lost my first wife. That divorce was hell on him.
Right.
I can't even tell my kids certain things. And as he's saying this to Henry, I'm thinking like, okay, well, what would I do if I was to try to do things differently in my life?
Right.
We don't know. I just think maybe that could be his one weak point. We'll see.
No, I think he should still keep it away from his
Well,
wife and
I
kids.
think he, instead of, because how he told Renee was more of the feeling and how he felt about the issue and not giving up the details of it.
Right.
So maybe I'm like that too. It's like, okay, you can't tell me everything. Just let me know what's going on. Meaning like, okay, well, this is the reason why I'm upset today because, something happened at work. If you tell me that, then it's like, okay, well, now I know. But you just can't come home upset and just like, well, I can't say anything, because then that doesn't work, because now I can't feel empathetic to the situation. So I think he's learned from that. And I think definitely exactly what you're saying. He's kind of at a crossroads of deciding whether he's going to go that route and maybe give up a little bit in order for some peace and having a relationship, or not give it up at all and, be alone, because Henry's leaving soon. So he's going to lose his best friend.
Right.
He'll need to get a dog or something.
Poor Stan.
Just saying.
I agree.
Oh, that's
I disagree with that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Stan's going to be a lonely man. He still shouldn't tell Renee, though. That's just hot.
So do you keep secrets in your relationships?
I'm not with the FBI.
I'm just asking a question.
No, I actually don't keep secrets. I let it all out. I don't really care. I'm an open book. I just feel like in 2017, everybody is just always trying to like hold in like what they feeling or what they've done in their past. It's like, nah, man, I'm an open book. Whatever you need to know, I got you.
Here's something I ran up on. I didn't think it'd be an issue. A friend that I went out on one date with was already like going through my social media.
Is this a live chat or what?
No, I'm just fooling with this. But her thing, she was like, you follow a lot of girls. That's what she said to me. You follow a lot of girls.
As you should. You're a guy.
Okay, you know what I mean?
What
But for some girls,
follow?
it's an issue. Like, she made it like, okay, like, exactly. Well, that's what I said too.
Exactly.
I was like, oh no, everyone on there is like my friend, somebody I know. It's not like somebody I'm just
or
like.
She has a big ass.
Hope my friend and I know the man, they have a big ass. But everybody was somebody I essentially knew, or kind of like indirectly knew. But that's a case in point. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Is it wrong, TK, to follow a lot of girls on IG?
It's not wrong,
You don't trip off your man if he does.
No.
What if he's leaving comments and likes?
It depends on the comments.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the type of relationship that you have. Like my thing with relationships is that I'm at an open book. So if I'm on my laptop and I'm on Facebook, I'm not, he walks in, I'm going to close Facebook. Like, nah, you can go,
read it.
you can read it. My phone's going to be open, like, you're good.
Yeah.
Vice versa, it should be the same thing. Because the thing is, the moment you kind of establish those type of rules, like, oh, well, don't go through my phone and don't do this, don't do that, then that person's going to feel like, well, what are you trying to hide? But if you don't do that, you're like, all right, it's cool, then the person most likely won't try to go through your phone.
Yeah.
And in essence, that person can actually go and often cheat, because that person's like, no, I trust them.
What if the guy you're dating likes a girl's bikini pic? He's like,
That's
looking
fine.
good.
That's fine.
Okay.
What if a girl you dating likes a 6-pack dude?
Yeah, I'd be liking that all day, especially The Rock.
So what? Bro, it's Instagram. First of all, Instagram is fake. It's a whole bunch of filters and lighting and poses. Don't trust none of that, all right? If they do it in front of you, like if somebody with a 6-pack ad comes in front of you and then they start clicking on, then you might have a problem.
But there's a difference between like, oh, she likes The Rock because he's a movie star. Yeah, everybody likes The Rock.
I don't like him because he's a movie star.
Whatever, because he has abs or whatever. Versus
sexy.
somebody who like she kind of knows. That's a total different thing too, right?
It depends on the relationship. So if for me, I'm open. So it's like, yo, tell me what the deal is. Like, yo, I smashed her like last year. We still friends. I'm like, all right, cool. But don't let me find out.
Okay.
Don't let her drop hints and then I have to ask you a question. Like, don't do that. That's not. I'm not about that. Like, let me know. All right, yeah, I smashed that chick.
That's
all
how
right,
it
cool.
should be
We're still friends. I can handle that.
You're more of an evolved woman.
No, that's what it should be.
I am, but I don't think some men are. They can't handle all that.
I think it's the other way around.
Men don't want to hear that.
Okay.
Men don't want to hear that.
Certain types of men.
It's just like a host. Like, yeah, I smashed him like 2 weeks ago, and then you're dating somebody 6 months later. You don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that. It takes a very special type of person.
Sometimes it's best to let like dead dogs lie.
See, I feel like a lot of people in LA know that like that's what's up. That's what's happening. So I mean, if you deny it, even with just one person, you just making yourself look stupid to the rest.
Well, here's the deal: if it was a jump off with a guy, right? Most of the time, the guy's like, "Oh, it's a jump off," so he's not gonna drop hints to the person's man. A female, most of the time, gets a little bit like on the emotional side, especially if it was good. She's gonna drop hints to that girlfriend, even though it's indirectly, where the girlfriend's gonna pick it up, and it's just like, nah, I'd rather just let me know from jump. Like
actually no, guys tell guys straight up what happened. I've had that a few times. Like,
you have?
You talking to her? Like, oh yeah, I hit that like last month, and I'm like, oh okay, cool, now I know. And I didn't go talk to the female about it, you know.
But how did you know that?
What do you mean?
Like, how did you know or did you just see that they were together and you're like, oh, by the way, I hit that like a month ago? Like, what you send them a message? Like,
well, both ways, yeah. You see them or you see a pic or they're talking about the person. Like, oh, you mean the one that stayed by the taco stand over on 51st Street? Like, oh, yeah, that one. She got like 3 kids? Like, yeah, that one. Not that actually happened. That's just an example. I'm just saying, like, guys are more straightforward. Like, yo, I hit those. Oh, okay, cool. Now I know.
Depends.
Yeah,
I guess every girl is different.
Last year, man.
Got him. Just got him, coach. You say got him, coach? I've had that. Yeah.
Got him, coach.
Got him, coach. Put me in the game.
Hey, a true player will, a game recognized game. You be like,
it's fine.
It's all good.
Like, hey, it's 2017. That's what happens.
What happens in 2017?
People sleep around.
Ain't no fun if that's the homies can have none.
We should just be truthful about it. Stay protected, get tested. I just got tested.
All that.
I'm all good.
Ladies,
shouts out to
clean,
Kaiser.
lean, and mean.
Shouts out to Kaiser. And did you know with Kaiser though, if you forget your password for the online thing, they have to literally mail you a new password.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that happen to you?
That happened to me, man. Like
okay.
I got the test. They couldn't give me the results. I went online to look it up, but I forgot my password.
How long does it take, man? Because it's the waiting time that kills you.
It took 24 hours. I had to come back to Kaiser, and then they're like, "Oh wait, you want to test results?" I was like, "Yeah, I forgot my password." They're like, "All right, cool." And they brought me to a back room, and like while I was walking back, this like nurse like turned around. She was like, "You're good." I just remember that. She's just like, "You're good."
I don't want to give up your name, Mr. Engineer Man. Do you want to chime in on this conversation? I don't want to give up so people don't, you have your
sex ed advice every Thursday night.
You want
I just had to throw it
hop in on this conversation? When's the last time you got tested, Mr. Engineer Man? Just saying.
He's like, no comment.
No comment.
It's Kaiser stories.
Hey, we're talking about the Americans. We're talking about the American way of life. You know.
I'm Canadian.
Oh, okay. She ain't with us on this one.
Predictions.
Predictions again.
Oh, so you can do the predictions, but you can't chime in. I mean, when you got tested last, really? You should just left the whole sound there because I would just say he's not here. But okay, I see you.
Predictions. I predict I think one thing that we'll all probably agree that the center isn't going to let him go. They're going to go to Claudia. It's like, look, we put in our time. We want to retire right off into the sunset. She's like, I don't think the center will like that.
Right.
So then what do you do? Then what's the next move?
Adding to that prediction, I think Gabriel's gonna come back and help him out.
Gabriel.
With the son? I feel like Philip's son, like there has to be more of a story.
Yeah.
That was too.
He has to meet his
That's
dad.
a dangling string. We got to wrap that up.
Yeah. Gosh, I know there's one more season, so it's very, thing, but I feel like there's no way for them to get out. There's no exit strategy for them to get out. And the way everything's set up is that the only way that they can get out is that they die.
Basically.
So that's obviously not going to happen because we have another season. But I think that with the ending of season 5, Philip, like they either might try to run and then they get caught up. Like they might try to run at the end of next week. And then, that's going to be the cliffhanger, or something happens to the point where like either Paige dies or something happens where, that's going to commit Elizabeth to actually them kind of developing a plan to get out of it. But I don't think that's going to, season 6 is definitely going to be an interesting season.
And along those lines, I think what we're going to find out in their efforts to try to get out, there are going to be some casualties of innocence. And I think that's one of the themes, because whenever you're playing this game, and it's a life or death game, you're not only taking your life in your hands, but you're taking your kid's life in your hands. All these other people you love, your wife. And so I'm trying to think who's going to be the casualty over at Philip and Elizabeth's family. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Henry, only because things look so good for him.
Right.
He's about to go away to boarding school. It's like he's going to be happy. Henry's going to do his thing. And just when you think he can get out, what could be the one tragic thing that could happen?
You know what would be? Did you guys see Breaking Bad?
Of course.
That would be Stan finally figures it out. Like there's enough breadcrumbs, because they had the sketches and the drawings from past seasons, and Henry might drop something, or Paige might drop something, or something might happen, or Philip gets Philip doesn't cross his T's, and Stan finally figures it out, and then the next season is them pretty much running from Stan but still doing their job.
What if Philip and Elizabeth join the CIA or the FBI?
They can't do that.
What if that was their way out?
They flip?
What if that was their way out? Stan's like, hey, man, I know what
I
you're
don't know
doing.
if they'll be able to. I think they can do that, but I think it'd still be a double crush because they've killed so many people. Like, they'll use their information and their intel, but I don't think they're going to get away scot-free.
Interesting question. What if Stan, after he knows, he's like, the jig is up. Okay, you guys are going to have to turn yourself in if you want your kids to live. I will make sure your kids are taken care of.
Right.
I love Paige and Henry, but if you want the best for them, you guys got to do life
They're
in
not going to
prison.
do that.
Interesting.
They won't do that.
Too good of a deal?
Too good of a deal.
Going to Canada.
Going to Canada, somewhere.
Then the show will be called The Canadians.
The Canadians. TK will be running that.
Oh, part 2. Season 1 again.
I don't know. I have to see if we had stuff like that, because Canada is like the North American version of Switzerland.
Right.
Yeah, but there's always some dirt.
There is. I agree, but I don't know how much dirt there is compared to America's dirt.
Not to backtrack, but one of our other shows, Guerrilla, we were talking about, wasn't there like a separatist or insurrection movement in Quebec?
Yeah, but Quebec is but can't, like how California has been wanting to separate from America. Quebec has wanted to been separating from Canada since I don't know, the 50s.
So it's like an open secret. It's not a big thing.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's don't get on me, but it's almost like a running joke. It's like, okay, they want to separate, and they speak. If you go to Quebec, they speak French. Everything's in French.
Do you speak French?
I took it up in 10th grade, so I can understand. I can understand French.
C'est mon père Emmanuel.
Oh, look
Voulez-vous
at you.
coucher avec
You're
moi?
a Renaissance man. If we had to clean you up and you would actually take a woman on a date and not invite them for SpaghettiOs and Xbox,
I've taken women on dates. I
where?
have it on cam. I've done the I've done the dating shows. Hold on. I'm just on Millionaire Matchmaker. That's
Oh my
Aaron.
God, were you really?
Yeah, I really was.
And you took somebody out on a date?
Gilbert Arenas' ex.
Shut up.
Swear to
And
God.
how did it go? Or you can't say.
Hey, I can't say.
When is it airing?
I think like next month.
Not Laura Yvonne.
I don't even.
We have to have a viewing party of that one.
Young Camel Toe, ladies and gentlemen, hot on the market.
I'm hot out here.
He's hopping. He's popping.
Obviously, it didn't work out because you're still single.
First of all those dating shows are fake. It's just for the cam.
But what if you really liked her? Or
that never happens. Name one time when that actually happened, and they weren't already dating before the show.
No, there's some of them. I know the earlier seasons where they actually dated. There was this guy. There's this chick. She was from California. He was from Vancouver. She flew up, and they actually ended up getting married. It was like
first time they met.
Yeah, it was like there's 3 or 4 couples where it actually went down. Like it was a relationship.
That's weird.
I watched that show. I watched pretty much every season of that show. It's really interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's what's up.
All right.
Well, we will have a viewing party of seeing young Camel Toe be medium
Ladies.
Camel Toe.
Mac and cheese.
And we really appreciate all your comments. Live chat, I didn't get to you. I didn't know if you had live chat up. All that good stuff. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. We'll see if these guys get it together and are on another show with me, but I doubt it.
We're going to get it together. We're going to get it together, TK.
I tried teaching them. But we have one more episode left for this season, so we will see you guys next week. Where can they find you guys, these single gentlemen here?
Squad.
Young Camel Toe on Instagram. That's YUNG Camel Toe. David Spitz on Twitter. Gang. Over here.
Squad. My
Old
name is
Camel
Al
Toe.
G. Old Camel Toe, a.k.a. Big Silverback, a.k.a. Young Ruski. On Twitter at Jamaica House Doc, and on IG at @LG_Jamaica House Film.
AKA Chicken Fingers, AKA Barbecue Chicken, AKA Hot Sauce Twinkies.
Hey.
You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
AKA.
No AKA. I will see you guys. We will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.